The hiss of the oxygen mask is the first thing I register, then the dull throb in my side. I blink, and the blurry white ceiling sharpens. Hospital. Right. Emergency appendectomy. The sharp smell of hospital disinfectant, so strong it almost tastes metallic, stings my nostrils, mingling with the faint, unnerving scent of my own fear sweat. I remember the pain, the rush to the ER, then nothing. Anesthesia is a cruel thief of time. My hand, clumsy and weak, fumbles for my phone on the bedside table. It's buzzing relentlessly, vibrating against the plastic like a trapped insect. Confused, I pick it up. Notifications flood the screen, dozens of them, mostly from Instagram and Facebook. Why would... Then I see it. Sarah's face, smiling brightly from a thumbnail. The caption, though. The caption hits me harder than the pre-surgery pain. Sometimes you have to choose your own happiness, even if it means breaking your own heart. After 3 amazing years, Marcus and I have decided to go our separate ways. Wishing him all the best. My breath catches. 3 years. She posted this now? While I'm in here? I glance at the timestamp. 30 minutes ago. She knew. She knew I was in surgery. We'd been together for 3 years, a whirlwind of shared dreams and late-night talks. I remember our first date, a clumsy attempt at ice skating where we spent more time laughing on the ice than gliding on it. I remember the way she looked at me when I told her I loved her for the first time, her eyes shining under the fairy lights we'd strung up on her tiny apartment balcony. Just this morning, before they wheeled me away, she'd kissed my forehead, her lips cool, her eyes distant? I'd chalked it up to worry. Now her wishing him all the best feels like a cold public execution. The words swim before my eyes. Decided to go our separate ways. We decided? No, she decided. And she decided to announce it to the world while I was unconscious, a tube down my throat. The sheer audacity of it, the calculated cruelty, makes me tremble. I can feel the tremor start in my hands and spread through my body, a chilling wave of shock and betrayal. My thumb hovers over her profile, a desperate urge to call, to scream, to understand. But then, a strange sort of calm washes over the initial shock. What's the point? She's already made her statement, loud and clear. Instead, I take a screenshot. The image of her smiling face, her callous words, saved. A digital scar. My finger moves, almost of its own accord, towards the like button under her post. Just as I'm about to press it, a nurse bustles in, all starched uniform and forced cheerfulness. "Oh, you're awake. How are we feeling, Mr. Henderson?" I just stare at her, the phone screen still glowing with Sarah's betrayal. My finger freezes, caught in the act of a quiet, almost surreal act of defiance. The nurse checks my vitals, oblivious to the storm raging inside me. The beeping of the machines around me seems to amplify the ringing in my ears. As soon as she leaves, I turn back to the phone. The rough texture of the hospital sheets feels abrasive against my skin as I scroll through the initial reactions to Sarah's post. My stomach churns. "OMG, Sarah, so sorry to hear. Sending hugs." "What happened? You guys were perfect." "Hope you're okay, sweetie. His loss. Public humiliation, that's what this is. She didn't just break up with me, she threw me to the wolves, and I'm still strapped to a hospital bed." I flash back to this morning. Sarah drove me to the hospital. Her grip on the steering wheel was tight, knuckles white. She'd been quiet, strangely so. When we arrived, she'd fidgeted with her purse. I can't stay, Marcus. I have that early meeting, remember?" Her voice was flat, devoid of the usual warmth. I'd been too focused on the impending surgery, the gnawing fear of going under, to question it much. I just nodded, a knot of anxiety tightening in my gut. "It's okay," I'd said, trying to sound brave. I'll be fine." She'd given me that quick, cool kiss and practically fled. Now, that early meeting feels like a pathetic, transparent lie. She hadn't been rushing to work. She'd been rushing to detonate our life. My phone explodes again, more messages, more comments. The post is going viral, at least within our relatively small social circle. Friends, acquaintances, people I barely know, they're all seeing this, commenting, speculating. I panic, a fresh wave of nausea washing over me, seeing how many people have already witnessed my private pain turned public spectacle. A text from Jake, my best friend. "Dude, what the hell is Sarah doing? Are you okay? Just saw her post?" Another from my sister, Emma. "Marcus, call me the second you see this. I'm going to kill her." Their concern is a small comfort in this swirling chaos, but it's drowned out by the sheer volume of notifications, each one a fresh stab. I can't deal with this, not now. With a decisive tap, I turn off all notifications. Silence. Blessed, temporary silence. I need to regain some semblance of control, even if it's just over the incessant pinging of my phone. I lie back against the stiff hospital pillow, my mind racing. What do I do? How do I even begin to process this? The physical pain from the surgery is a dull ache compared to the sharp, tearing agony of this betrayal. Then, my phone screen lights up. Sarah, incoming call. My heart hammers against my ribs. She's calling. After that atrocity of a post, she's calling me. My thumb hovers over the answer button. Does she want to explain? Apologize? Or just twist the knife further? I have to decide. Do I pick up and let her hear the raw hurt in my voice? Or do I ignore it and let her wonder? The ringing stops, then starts again almost immediately. She's persistent. Against my better judgment, I swipe to answer. "Marcus?" Her voice is sore, hesitant, not the confident tone of her breakup post. "Sarah." I manage to keep my own voice even, betraying none of the turmoil inside me. "You saw it, then?" Not a question, a statement. "Hard to miss," I say, the bitterness creeping in despite myself. "Front row seats to my own breakup, while I'm in a hospital bed, no less. Classy, Sarah, real classy." I couldn't wait anymore, Marcus." There's a defensive edge to her voice now. "We haven't been happy. Not really, not for months." Months? This is news to me. I thought we were okay. Maybe a little stressed with work, the usual ups and downs, but not this. Not breakup-worthy unhappiness that she's apparently been nursing for months without a word to me. "And you chose to tell me this, and the entire internet while I'm having surgery? You couldn't have waited until I was, I don't know, conscious and not recently sliced open?" "I needed to rip the Band-Aid off," she says, the cliché falling flat and sounding utterly selfish. "For me, I needed to move on." "Rip the Band-Aid off?" I almost laugh, a harsh, humorless sound. "You took a goddamn machete to it, Sarah, and you did it in the most public, humiliating way possible." My voice is rising now, the carefully constructed calm starting to crumble. I picture her, tapping out that chirpy, devastating post, probably from the comfort of her sister's couch, while I was lying helpless. "I knew you'd be angry," she says, her voice wavering slightly between guilt and defiance. "But it's done now. I'm already at Trish's. My stuff is packed." Already at her sister's. Her stuff packed. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision fueled by unhappiness. This was a plan, a cold, calculated extraction. The sound of her voice, even with its slight tremor, breaking over the tinny phone speaker, feels like sandpaper on my raw nerves. "So, that's it?" I ask, the fight draining out of me, replaced by a hollow ache. 3 years, and this is how it ends? A social media announcement and a phone call while I'm recovering from an operation? "There were problems, Marcus. Real problems," she insists. You were always working. We barely talked anymore. I felt ignored, invisible. I try to process this. Was I? Maybe I had been working a lot. My new project was demanding, but I thought she understood. I thought we were solid enough to weather a busy period. Apparently, I was wrong. Delusional, even. She's listing my alleged failings, rewriting our history to fit her narrative, to justify this. Each word is a careful, deliberate chisel, chipping away at the foundation of what I thought we had. I stay quiet, letting her speak, a strange sense of detachment settling over me. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, horrifying, but I can't look away. My anger is still there, a burning coal in my chest, but I don't raise my voice. Let her say her piece, let her dig her own grave. I couldn't pretend anymore, she finishes, her voice dropping. A beat of silence hangs between us, thick and heavy. Then she says, "Look, Marcus, there's something else. Something I need to tell you." My blood runs cold. Something else? What could possibly be worse than this? What is it, Sarah? I can't, not like this. Her voice is barely a whisper now. I have to go. And just like that, she hangs up. The line goes dead, leaving me with a dial tone and a fresh wave of dread. Something else. She hangs up before revealing what it is, leaving me to spiral in a new pit of anxiety. I stare at the phone, the silence of the hospital room pressing in on me. The blue light from the screen burns my tired eyes as I dive back into the social media vortex, a moth to a flame. I have to see. I have to know what everyone is saying. Each comment, each like, each shared post is a tiny hammer blow against my already fractured composure. Wow, Sarah, takes guts to be so honest. Good for you. Marcus always seemed a bit distant, TBH. Knew it wouldn't last. She deserves better. Mutual friends. People who've smiled at me, shared drinks with me, now dissecting my relationship, taking sides. Some defend Sarah's honesty, praising her for her bravery. Bravery? Or calculated self-preservation disguised as empowerment? I find out through their ill-informed comments that people apparently knew about problems I didn't even see, whispers I was never privy to. My carefully curated life, our shared life, is being picked apart by strangers and acquaintances alike. The door to my room creaks open, and Emma rushes in, her face a mask of fury. "Marcus! Oh my God, are you okay? I came as soon as I saw that thing she posted." She envelops me in a hug, careful of my side. Her anger is a strange comfort, a validation of my own. Define okay, I manage, a weak smile playing on my lips. "I'm going to rip her a new one," Emma seethes, pulling up a chair. "The nerve of her, while you're in surgery." Apparently she couldn't wait, I say, the words tasting like ash. Emma scrolls through her own phone, her expression darkening with every swipe. "She's always been like this, you know?" she says, looking up at me. "Obsessed with her online image. Everything has to be a performance. Remember that charity fun run? She spent more time taking selfies and crafting the perfect Instagram caption than actually running." I nod. The signs were there, weren't they? Sarah's almost compulsive need for social media validation. Every outing, every meal, every minor inconvenience had to be documented, curated, and broadcast for her followers. Our relationship, too, had become fodder for her feed. Happy couple selfies, gushing captions about our perfect love story. All a lie, apparently, or at least a heavily edited version of reality. I scroll further, a sick fascination taking hold. Screenshots, comments, shares. I start documenting everything, saving it all. Not for revenge, not yet, but as evidence. Evidence of what, I'm not even sure. Evidence of her cruelty, of my own blindness? I spiraled deeper into self-doubt and humiliation. Was I that bad of a boyfriend? Was I distant? Emotionally unavailable, as one of Sarah's defenders so helpfully pointed out in the comments? The public shaming is working. I'm questioning everything. Emma watches me, her brow furrowed with concern. Marcus, stop torturing yourself. She's the one in the wrong here, not you. This is a classic Sarah move. Control the narrative. Play the victim. Just as she says that, her phone buzzes. She glances at it, and her eyes widen. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. What is it? I ask, my voice laced with weariness. Emma turns her phone screen towards me. It's an Instagram story. A mutual friend, Chloe, posted it about an hour ago. A picture from last night. A dimly lit bar, a group of people laughing. And there, in the center of the frame, unmistakably, is Sarah. She's leaning in close to a guy, her head tilted, a wide smile on her face. A guy I vaguely recognize. Tom, her coworker. The one she'd always dismissed as just a friend from the office. My blood turns to ice. Last night? The night before my emergency surgery. While I was doubled over in pain, waiting for a diagnosis, she was out. Laughing. With another man. Emma looks at me, her expression a mixture of pity and rage. I saw her out last night, Marcus. With him. I didn't want to say anything. Not before your surgery. I hoped it was nothing. The pieces slammed together in my mind. A sickening mosaic of deceit. She wasn't just unhappy. She wasn't just ripping off a Band-Aid. She was already moving on. This breakup, this public spectacle, it wasn't an impulsive act of a desperate woman. It was a premeditated strike designed to clear the way for her new, whatever Tom was. The taste of bitter hospital coffee, lukewarm and acidic, fills my mouth as reality sets in. I'd asked for a coffee earlier, hoping it would cut through the anesthesia fog. Now it just tastes like my life. My sister watches me, her eyes full of concern. Marcus? I shake my head, trying to clear the red mist of rage that's building behind my eyes. I rage internally, a silent, screaming inferno, but on the outside, I maintain a veneer of composure. This isn't just about a breakup anymore. This is about a calculated, cruel deception. I need to see everything, I tell Emma, my voice dangerously quiet. Every post, every comment, every picture, I need to know what she's been doing. Emma hesitates for a moment, then nods. Okay, but we're doing this together. For the next hour, we trawl through social media. Sarah's profiles, Tom's profiles, mutual friends' feeds. We're like digital archaeologists, unearthing the buried remains of my relationship. Red flags I'd missed or ignored now wave frantically in my face. Her late nights at the office. Her sudden insistence on girls' nights out that, in retrospect, probably weren't just girls' nights. The casual mentions of Tom, always strategically downplayed. Then Jake calls, his face appearing on my phone screen via video. He's at home, looking just as furious as Emma. Dude, I've been digging. This Tom guy, Sarah's been talking about him to a few people, making it sound like you were the problem, that she was looking for an out. My stomach clenches. She wasn't just deceiving me, she was actively smearing me to justify her actions. I need to talk to people, I say, a new resolve hardening within me. Our mutual friends. I need to know what they really think, what she's been telling them. I need the truth, unfiltered by Sarah's manipulative lens. As I'm saying this, my phone buzzes with a new text message, an unknown number. Marcus, it's Tom. Tom Ashton, Sarah's friend. Can we talk? I think you need to hear my side of this. My heart lurches. Tom. Reaching out to me. What could he possibly want? Is he going to gloat, threaten me? Or is this something else entirely? His message is not what I expected, not at all. The antiseptic smell of the hospital, a scent I now associate with betrayal, seems to grow stronger as a cleaner mops the floor nearby. I look at Emma, then at Jake's face on the screen. "Tom just texted me," I say, my voice barely a whisper. "He wants to talk." Tom's message sits on my screen. A digital grenade. I hesitate for a moment, then reply, "Okay, call me." My phone rings almost instantly. I take a deep breath and answer, putting it on speaker so Emma and Jake can hear. "Marcus? Thanks for taking my call," Tom says. His voice is surprisingly nervous, nothing like the confident guy in Chloe's Instagram picture. "What do you want, Tom?" I keep my tone neutral, a Herculean effort. "Look, man, I had no idea," he blurts out. "About you, about Sarah being in a relationship. She told me she was single, had been for months." Months? My mind reels. This isn't just a recent fling. This is a calculated long-term deception. She said what? She told me she'd broken up with her ex. That's you, I guess, a long time ago. That it was a bad breakup and she was just starting to date again. We've been seeing each other for about 6 weeks. 6 weeks. The timeline is a punch to the gut. 6 weeks of her coming home to me, sleeping in our bed, while carrying on an entirely separate relationship with this guy. The sheer duplicity is staggering. I feel a strange mix of emotions. Fury, yes, but also a bizarre sense of vindication? It wasn't all in my head. I wasn't a bad boyfriend. I was a deceived one. She told me you were kind of controlling, Tom continues, his voice hesitant. That you didn't like her going out with friends. That you were always checking up on her. That's why she was so secretive about us, or so she said. She said she was scared of how you'd react if you found out she was dating again. My jaw tightens. Controlling? Me? Sarah was the one who always needed to know where I was, who I was with. She was the one who'd scroll through my phone if I left it unattended. She's not just lying to him, she's painting me as the villain to justify her affair. Tom, I say, my voice dangerously calm. That's a complete fabrication, every word of it. Yeah, I'm starting to realize that, he says, and there's a weary resignation in his voice now. When I saw her post this morning, the one about you guys breaking up today, and then Chloe's post from last night, I started putting things together. She's been lying to me, Marcus. Big time. He then does something I don't expect. He starts sending me screenshots, text messages between him and Sarah, her telling him how much she enjoys his company, how he's a breath of fresh air after her toxic ex. Her complaining about me, twisting innocent situations into examples of my supposed possessiveness. Her planning dates with him, all while she was supposedly committed to me. The evidence is damning. Sarah hasn't just been living a double life. She's been meticulously constructing a false narrative to ensnare him, all while systematically dismantling our relationship behind my back. I feel a profound sense of liberation from the guilt and self-blame that had been gnawing at me. This isn't my fault. I'm not the one who failed. She did. She told me this morning that she was breaking up with you because she couldn't handle the guilt anymore, Tom says. She made it sound like she was doing the noble thing. Noble? I scoff. There's nothing noble about what she's done. Emma and Jake are silent, listening to the whole exchange, their expressions shifting from anger to a kind of stunned disbelief. Look, Marcus, Tom says, I'm not trying to cause more trouble, but I thought you should know. She's not who I thought she was. And honestly, I'm starting to think she has a pattern of this. A pattern? The words hang in the air. "What do you mean?" I ask. "Just some things she's let slip. Vague comments about past relationships, how they always end badly, how guys always let her down. It always seemed like she was painting herself as the victim. Now I'm not so sure. The conversation with Tom is a revelation. It's like he's handed me a key, unlocking a hidden room in Sarah's personality, a room filled with manipulation and deceit. I begin building a case in my mind, not for revenge, but for the unvarnished truth. I need to understand the full extent of her deception. As if on cue, while Tom is still on the line, my phone screen flashes with another notification. This time, it's a new post from Sarah on her Instagram story. Tom sees it too. "Oh, you've got to be kidding me," he mutters. "She's posting again. More lies, I bet." My finger trembles as I tap on it. He's right. It's a tearful selfie, perfectly art-directed with smudged mascara, captioned, "So hard to walk away, but sometimes you have to choose your own peace. Feeling heartbroken but hopeful. Please respect my privacy during this difficult time." Privacy? After she blew up my life on a public forum? The hypocrisy is breathtaking. This isn't over, not by a long shot. The next few days are a blur of physical recovery and emotional excavation. I'm discharged from the hospital and go straight to Emma's place. The softness of her couch is a welcome relief after the hard hospital bed, but there's no real comfort to be found. Sarah's new posts are a constant barrage. She's in full victim mode, painting herself as a heartbroken woman, forced to make a difficult choice. She vaguely alludes to my emotional unavailability, my lack of support, my failure to see her worth. Each carefully crafted phrase is a dagger designed to garner sympathy and deflect blame. Jake arrives at Emma's with my laptop, his expression grim. "She's on a rampage, man. You need to see this." Together, we delve deeper into Sarah's social media history. Her past posts, her interactions, her carefully cultivated online persona. It's a masterclass in manipulation. She's always the victim, always the one wronged, always rising above some unspoken tragedy. The comment sections are filled with her sycophantic followers, lapping up her every word, offering endless validation. I tremble with a controlled anger as I read her latest fabrications about me. The urge to respond, to lash out, to expose her lies is almost overwhelming. But I know that's what she wants, an emotional reaction, a public fight that will only fuel her drama. "Don't engage," Jake advises, his voice firm. "That's playing her game. We need a strategy, a different path." Instead of responding emotionally, I start gathering character witnesses. I reach out to friends, old colleagues, people who knew us as a couple. I don't badmouth Sarah. I simply ask for their honest recollections of our relationship, of her behavior. The responses are eye-opening. Many had seen flashes of her manipulative side, her need for attention, her tendency to exaggerate or twist situations. They'd just never said anything, not wanting to get involved. Then, something unexpected happens. I get a message on Instagram. It's from a profile I don't recognize at first. The name is Rachel. Rachel Miller, Sarah's older sister. My heart skips a beat. Why would she be contacting me? Her message is short. "Marcus, I am so sorry for what Sarah has done. This is beyond words. Can we talk? There are things you need to know." Sarah's own sister, reaching out to me. This could change everything. The warm smell of Emma's cooking. A comforting lasagna fills the house, a stark contrast to the cold, sterile environment of the hospital. It's a reminder of normalcy, of care, something Sarah seems incapable of offering. I agree to talk to Rachel, a knot of anticipation tightening in my chest. Rachel calls that evening, Her voice is strained, full of a weary sadness. "Marcus, I don't even know where to begin," she says. "What Sarah did to you. It's not okay. And I need you to know this isn't the first time she's done something like this." My blood runs cold. "What do you mean?" "Sarah, she has a pattern," Rachel says, her voice barely above a whisper. "She's always been like this, even when we were kids. She needs to be the center of attention always. And if she doesn't get it, or if things aren't going her way, she creates drama. She twists things, makes herself the victim. It's like a drug for her, that online validation." Rachel then recounts stories from Sarah's past. Relationships that ended in similar firestorms of public accusations and carefully crafted victim narratives. Boyfriends who were blindsided, painted as monsters, while Sarah basked in the sympathy of her online followers. It's a chilling echo of my own experience. "She was with a guy, Liam, for 2 years, Rachel says. A really sweet guy. When she decided she was bored, she didn't just break up with him. She accused him of cheating, posted all these vague, tearful statuses about betrayal, ruined his reputation among their mutual friends. Turns out, she was the one who'd been seeing someone else. The parallels are uncanny. The emotional cheating, the public shaming, the victim narrative. It's like Sarah has a playbook, and she's running the same tired moves on every guy she's with." "Why didn't you ever say anything?" I ask, a touch of accusation in my voice. Rachel sighs. "We tried. Our parents, me. We've tried to get her help. Therapy. But she refuses. She doesn't think she has a problem. She thinks everyone else is the problem. And if you challenge her, she cuts you off. She hasn't spoken to our parents in months because they called her out on her spending." I start to understand the psychological factors behind Sarah's behavior. This isn't just about a failed relationship. This is about something deeper, something broken within her. Her social media addiction isn't a quirk. It's a symptom of a profound need for external validation, a way to control the narrative of her life, even if that narrative is built on lies. I feel a strange mix of sadness and relief. Sadness for the woman I thought I knew, the woman I loved, who is clearly in a lot of pain, and relief that this isn't my fault, that I'm not the monster she's trying to paint me as. "Marcus," Rachel says, her voice pleading, "I know this is a lot to take in, but I needed you to know. You're not crazy. You're not the bad guy here." "Thank you, Rachel," I say, and the words are heartfelt. "You have no idea how much this means to me." Armed with this new understanding, I begin reaching out to Sarah's previous ex-boyfriends, the ones Rachel mentioned. It's a long shot, but I need to hear their stories to see if the pattern holds. Most don't respond. They've moved on, understandably reluctant to dredge up the past. But one does. A guy named David. His response is brief. "Yeah, I dated Sarah, worst mistake of my life. If you want to know what she's capable of, call me." My hand trembles as I dial his number. He has something shocking to share. I can feel it. I was right. I'm not the first person Sarah has publicly humiliated. The realization is both horrifying and, in a twisted way, validating. David's story is a chilling echo of my own, but with an even more sinister twist. Sarah hadn't just publicly humiliated him, she'd actively tried to sabotage his career. She'd sent anonymous emails to his boss, full of lies and accusations, after he'd refused to get back together with her. He'd almost lost his job. "She's a predator, man," David says, his voice still raw with anger even after all this time. "She finds good guys, sucks them dry, and then moves on to the next victim, leaving a trail of destruction in her wake. That online persona? It's all a carefully constructed lie." Hearing his story and Rachel's galvanizes me. I can't let Sarah do this to anyone else. But a public takedown, a messy online fight, that's not my style. That's her style. I need a different approach. I spend the next few days crafting my response. Not a rebuttal, not an attack, but a simple, dignified statement. Emma and Jake help, offering suggestions, rephrasing sentences, ensuring the tone is just right. Finally, it's ready. I take a deep breath and hit post. It's a picture of me, taken by Emma in her backyard. I'm smiling, a genuine, if tired, smile. The caption is short. The past week has been challenging, to say the least. Recovering from emergency surgery has been tough, but I'm so grateful for the incredible support of my friends and family. Sometimes life throws you unexpected curveballs. The important thing is how you choose to heal and move forward. Wishing everyone compassion and kindness, especially when you don't know the full story. Onwards and upwards. No mention of Sarah, no accusations. Just a subtle, powerful statement about timing, compassion, and the importance of knowing the full story. The post goes viral, but for all the right reasons. People admire the grace under pressure, the quiet dignity. Comments flood in, overwhelmingly supportive. Class act, Marcus. Wishing you a speedy recovery. This is how you handle a difficult situation with integrity. So much respect for you right now. Friends, acquaintances, even strangers rally around me. Sarah's carefully constructed victim narrative begins to crumble. Her attempts to contact me, calls, texts, DMs, become more frequent, more frantic. I don't respond. I block her number, her social media profiles. The satisfying click of the block button feels like a door slamming shut on that chapter of my life. There are consequences for Sarah, too. Her employer, a small marketing firm that prides itself on its ethical image, apparently saw the online drama. One of our mutual friends who works there tells Jake that Sarah was called into a meeting with HR. Her unprofessional behavior, her public airing of dirty laundry, it didn't sit well with them. I breathe freely for the first time in days. I like several of the supportive comments on my post, but I ignore anything that mentions Sarah directly. This isn't about her anymore. This is about my healing, my future. Then, just as I'm starting to feel a sense of peace, my phone rings. It's Emma. Marcus, she says, her voice tight. You need to get over here. Sarah's at my front door. My blood runs cold. Sarah, here at Emma's house, after everything. What could she possibly want now? The drive to Emma's is a blur. My mind races. What will I say? What will she say? Part of me wants to turn the car around, to avoid this confrontation. But another part, a stronger part, knows I need to face her. For closure. For myself. When I arrive, Emma meets me at the door, her expression a mixture of anger and concern. She's on the porch, Emma whispers. She looks a mess. I nod, take a deep breath, and step outside. Sarah is indeed a mess. Her eyes are red-rimmed, her hair disheveled. The confident, defiant woman from the phone call, the perfectly curated victim from social media, is gone. In her place is someone who looks lost, desperate. Marcus, she says, her voice cracking. Can we talk? I nod, gesturing towards the porch swing. We sit, the silence stretching between us, thick and uncomfortable. The fresh air outside Emma's house, a welcome change from the sterile hospital and the stuffiness of being cooped up, does little to ease the tension. I made a mistake, Marcus, she begins, her gaze fixed on her nervously twisting hands. A huge mistake. The way I ended things, it was wrong, cruel. I see that now. I wait, saying nothing. Let her talk. I was unhappy, yes, she continues. But I should have talked to you. I shouldn't have done it like that. The post, it was impulsive. I was hurt. And I wanted to, I don't know, take control, but it backfired. Everything has backfired. She looks up at me, her eyes pleading. They're saying horrible things about me. My boss. I might lose my job. Marcus, I'm so sorry. Is she sorry for what she did? Or sorry she got caught? Sorry for the consequences she's now facing? I can't tell. My newfound strength, forged in the crucible of her betrayal, allows me to see her more clearly now. The patterns Rachel and David described are all there, playing out in real time. Why, Sarah? I ask, my voice quiet but firm. Why did you do it? The lies, the cheating, the public humiliation, why? She falters, her gaze dropping again. I don't know. I was scared. I felt trapped. Tom, he was an escape. And then when I knew you were having surgery, it just seemed like an opportunity to make a clean break. I know how that sounds. It sounds monstrous, Sarah, I say. The words devoid of heat, just a simple statement of fact. You saw my vulnerability as an opportunity for your convenience. She starts to cry then, silent tears tracking through her smudged makeup. I didn't mean to hurt you this badly, Marcus. I still care about you. Do you? I ask. Or do you care about what this has done to your reputation, to your image? She doesn't answer, which is an answer in itself. The conversation continues, a painful, circular dance of her excuses and my quiet, steady refusal to accept them. She blames her unhappiness, her insecurities, her fear of confrontation. She blames me, subtly at first, then more overtly, for not being attentive enough, for not seeing how much she was struggling. But the words have no power over me anymore. I see through the manipulation, the attempts to deflect responsibility. I stand firm in my newfound strength. I've grown more in the past few days, learned more about myself and about human nature than I have in years. This pain, this betrayal, it's been a harsh teacher, but a thorough one. Finally, I give her the chance she's been fishing for, though not in the way she expects. Is there anything else you want to say, Sarah? Anything you haven't already broadcast to the world? She looks at me, a flicker of hope in her eyes. I want us to try again, Marcus. I know I messed up, but we were good together. We can be good again. I can change. I will change. This is her last attempt at manipulation, her final desperate play. And it fails. Miserably. I shake my head, a small, sad smile on my lips. No, Sarah, we can't. You showed me who you are, and I believe you. The hope in her eyes dies, replaced by a dawning understanding. This is it. There are no more chances. The conversation ends, not with a bang, but with a quiet, definitive full stop. Closure, not reconciliation. As she finally stands to leave, her shoulders slumped in defeat, I offer her one last thing. Sarah, I say, and she turns, her expression wary. I forgive you. The words surprise even me. But they're true. The anger, the bitterness, it's still there, but it's fading, being replaced by a sense of peace. Forgiving her isn't for her. It's for me. It's the final step in reclaiming my power. My life. She stares at me, speechless, then nods slowly and walks away, out of Emma's yard, out of my life. I watch her go, the fresh air filling my lungs. It feels good, clean. Later that evening, back in the quiet of Emma's guest room, I open my laptop. I navigate to my Facebook profile. My relationship status still says, "In a relationship with Sarah Miller." With a decisive click, I change it. Single. Then I create a new post. Not about Sarah, not about the drama. A picture of the sunset from Emma's porch, a fiery blaze of orange and pink. The caption is simple: gratitude for new beginnings, healing, growing, and moving forward. Life is beautiful. I hit post and close the laptop. A sense of calm settles over me. It's done. A few minutes later, my phone buzzes. A notification. Sarah Miller liked your status. I look at it for a long moment. Then I smile. A genuine, heartfelt smile. The irony isn't lost on me, but it doesn't matter anymore. Her like has no power here. I put my phone down and look out the window at the darkening sky. Onwards and upwards. Indeed.